Self-improvement might be the biggest lie you've ever believed. You watch the videos, you save them, you feel motivated, but nothing changes. That feeling you get, that rush, that clarity, that's not progress. It's pleasure, and you've been addicted to it this whole time. When you consume growth content such as self-improvement, it actually replaces real action. I know a lot of the time, even myself growing up, I like to consume self-improvement content, right? We like to feel like we're becoming better by doing nothing. Think about it, when you're on your phone and you're scrolling, or you're watching a video about self-improvement, you believe you're becoming better. You believe you're learning so much in that moment from this video, from these reels, whatever it may be. Yet that's not the case, because you're not doing anything. You're just consuming like you would consume another video on another topic, or like you would consume a movie or anything else, right? You're not actually doing anything. Now, I understand that when you first get into, improving yourself, you might need these videos, you might need a video to kind of guide you along the way, but you've got to be honest. Are you doing something, or are you just consuming? Are you listening to someone telling you what you should be doing, or are you doing the thing after being told it, right? And that's kind of the fine line a lot of people don't understand. They might believe that they're actually doing something, that they're improving because they're consuming more content along those lines. But what you've got to realize is, yes, you can improve you can improve yourself with self-improvement content, but you have to use that in order to actually do something. You cannot just fully consume it, otherwise you're not doing anything. If you're watching a video about how to do a certain gym exercise and how to eat correctly, yet you're not actually doing it, that is not what that content is for. You're supposed to go out there and do the thing. And the trap that a lot of us fall into is, it feels productive. It feels productive to watch a video about someone telling you what skills you should learn and what you should do with your training and so on and so forth, right? But you're not actually doing anything meaningful. And the point that I'm trying to get at is, you need to take action. You need to take action. Again, you can't just sit there in your bed and consume all this stuff. Yes, you might be improving your knowledge about it, but you're not actually doing it. You're not living it. You're not putting it into action. If they say you need to learn this skill, and they tell you how to improve or get this skill to begin with, you need to actually put it into action. Because yes, maybe the initial idea of the skill was never in your mind to begin with, and you watching the video put it there. But you've got to now put it into action and build upon it, right? A lot of us get dopamine hits from watching this content without achieving it. You'll watch this content, you'll get a little rush of dopamine, you'll feel good about yourself, you will believe that you're actually doing something. Yet, in reality, you're not. In reality, from the outside looking in, you're just sitting there, scrolling on your phone, doing nothing. And what I want you guys to try right now is to think of yourself in the third person, right? So imagine there's someone else, in your room with you, and imagine you're looking at yourself through that person's point of view. What are you currently doing? Are you just sitting there on your phone, on your computer, doing doing nothing, right? It doesn't matter what content is on your phone, because the other person that you're viewing yourself from isn't gonna know. But are you just scrolling on your phone, sitting there in your bed, doing nothing? Or are you actually using that knowledge and putting it to use? Think about it. A lot of us use this content to plan our lives instead of actually living it. We use this content to plan, okay, this is who I want to become, this is what I'm going to do. But again, you don't live it. You're not doing anything to ensure that you're going to become this person. Again, I understand the whole use the self-improvement stuff in order to gain an idea. But again, you've got to gain the idea and then you've got to live it. You could go through phases where maybe you consume self-improvement content for, let's say, a week. But then for the next 2-3 weeks, you've got to just live your life. So on and so forth, right? You can't just keep consuming without living and doing something. A lot of us will get motivation addiction, but that keeps you stuck. You'll get addicted to the feeling of being motivated. Yes, I'm gonna go do this. Yes, I'm gonna go do that. But you don't actually do it. You might watch a hype video. Again, one that gets you motivated, amped up, yet the very next day you do nothing because all that motivation is gone. You don't have that discipline to follow through with it. When you stack your knowledge without executing on it, it builds nothing. Again, when you initially gain the knowledge through this content, that's okay. But you've got to use that and you've got to do something with it. You cannot just keep stacking knowledge on how to improve your life and not do anything to improve it. That's pretty redundant. It doesn't work like that. You might know how to improve your life in every single aspect, but if you're not putting it to use, it is of no use. If you know how to improve your relationships with people, but you're not actually using it, what's the point of even knowing it? Yes, it might be scary to start putting all this knowledge to work, but again, it's not going to be perfect when you start. You've just got to start. Comfort is disguised as self-improvement habits. Again, you might think that you're improving, but you're just within your comfort. You might change one little thing about your routine and believe that you're improving, when in reality, you just don't want to go outside of your comfort zone. Again, when you want to improve and you action that improvement, yes, it'll be uncomfortable. Yes, you have to be outside of your comfort zone. It will take discipline. I understand. But most of you guys, when you try to improve, you don't want to improve too much because it's scary. It's uncomfortable. You might be second guessing if you're going to become that person, but you never know until you try. And one concept that I've kind of wrapped my head around lately is the term LARPing, which, if you guys don't know what it is, it means live action role playing, essentially pretending to be someone or something that you're not. And I've seen quite a fair few videos about it, but basically you need to LARP more often. You need to pretend to be the person that you want to be more often, because when you pretend to be that person, even if you don't believe you're there yet, over a long enough timeline, life will catch up to who you are pretending to be. So then no longer are you pretending to be, you are becoming that person. Might be a bit of a hard concept for people to understand, but it's basically just fake it till you make it. Because if you keep pretending to be someone that you're not, that's better than you are, eventually life will gravitate around that. And again, you'll no longer be pretending, you'll be becoming. With self-improvement content, you're just watching other people win and not yourself. How often do we just consuming all this content, watching other people achieve their dreams and their goals, yet you're not doing anything about your own life. You might think in your head, oh man, I'm going to achieve this, but if you're not actioning it, you're not going anywhere. You're just stuck in the same place. Endless preparation will delay the real work. Kind of the same as if you just overthink all the time. If you're just endlessly preparing for whatever route you're planning on going down, you'll never actually get to the grind. If you're always preparing and you're trying to get all the information about whatever route you're going down, it's just delaying everything. One thing you've got to do is gain base knowledge of whatever it may be, the gym, your diet, whatever. Gain base knowledge of it and then just do it. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be the best. It might feel weird, right? But while you are on that journey, that's when you can keep gaining more knowledge and keep tweaking. And even for myself, I've been going to the gym for about, 6 years now, which is kind of crazy. But when I first started, it was all the knowledge I had at the time. And even now to this day, 6 years later, I'm still gaining more knowledge, still tweaking my workouts, still finding out what works for me, what doesn't. But I just started, and you've got to realize that once you start, that's the main thing. And you might believe at the time, you might believe what you're doing is hands down the best thing for yourself. But then, as you gain more experience, you're like, alright, maybe I'm doing this wrong, I'll tweak it. This, I'll get rid of it, I'll maybe add this, whatever. But you do that while you are on that journey. Because if I was to endlessly try and prepare for going to the gym, trying to gain all the knowledge in the world, I never would have started. And again, there's also a lot more new information coming out day by day, week by week, so on and so forth. You're never going to get the best knowledge, and maybe the best knowledge at the time when you started is not going to be the same as 3, 4, 5 years down the line. So again, you've just got to start building up that skill, that repetition, and tweak it along the way. Because there's no better way to improve and to tweak things than by doing it on the fly. One final thing I'll leave you guys with is discipline starts where the motivational content ends. When you stop consuming all of this self-improvement content, when you stop trying to amp yourself up with motivation, that's when the discipline kicks in, and that's when you realize if you really want to go down this path or not. Because when you finally take action and you stop consuming all this content and start trying to improve your life, that's when you realize, you look at yourself in the mirror and you realize, am I really this person? Is this for me? But that's up for you to decide. But one thing I will say is if you don't quit and you just start in the first place, you'll find out who you are very, very quickly. But the only way to find out is to just start. Stop consuming the self-improvement content and start improving yourself. Now, if this made you think at all, you're probably ready to change. Subscribe if you want more content like this, and if you want to go deeper and gain early access to these videos, the Patreon is right there for you, link in the description. But with all that being said, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you all did learn something from this video, and as always, catch you all next one.